Hi. I haven't done a video for almost a month. I thought I would come back and kind of focus on, sorry, I'm like adjusting my camera, kind of focus on how you juggle everything, how I juggle everything at least. I had said before, I'm a full-time caregiver to my husband, and I also work. And this past couple weeks, my mother, who is almost 80, fell, and my sisters and I have participated in her recovery and her care. And when it comes to juggling a lot of things, I know that a lot of people who care for their parents are part of what's called the sandwich generation, meaning that you've got children that you're responsible for as well as now your parents. And that can be a very stressful time for everybody. And some of the things that I found that have helped me is or really prioritizing my time. And I keep a calendar. I use my iPhone calendar, and then I also have a calendar on the refrigerator with very large squares so that I can write inside on that date what happens, because I found that the calendars that give you the side margin, at a glance, I can't see that I have something on that date. So I like the ones with the really large squares. They're like this big, and I can write multiple things within that square so that at a glance I can look at that when someone's on the phone with me saying, can you make this appointment on this day, or can we make this arrangement on this day, and I can immediately say yay or nay, because I can see the list of things that's already written on that day. I also I have a whiteboard for my husband's benefit hanging up also in the kitchen, and it's on our pantry door, which is right next to the refrigerator. It's a very large whiteboard. It's large, and it's a dry erase board, obviously, and I write the day, the date, and then I put down sequentially what's happening that day. If he's having an aide that morning to make his breakfast because I'm gone, I'll list mom, because he calls me mom too, not like I'm his mom, but he knows who I am, and it's shorter than Allison. So I'll put mom, work 5:30 to 5:30 or whatever my day is, and then I'll put aide from such a time to such a time. Then I'll list whatever else is happening in that day, like if my son is going to school, if there's an appointment that my husband has, anything that is important enough for him to try to remember, because his short-term memory isn't good. He does have problems. You can tell him in the morning, and by noon he will have forgotten whatever it is that you've said as far as what's happening that day. So the whiteboard's been imperative for him to keep up with the things that are happening. I also, as far as like juggling time and stress, which I am no expert on juggling stress. I have problems with stress myself. It manifests physically. I've said that before. And really my best thing to do for myself is to find time to go to the gym. If I have time to go to the gym and I get those endorphins going, I feel amazing. If I don't have time to go to the gym, then my stress relief can be as small as singing at the top of my lungs in my car to the Sirius XM radio, hello, 70s, 80s, right? The Bridge. And some of the Hair Nation, it sounds ridiculous, but some of those hard rock songs, from my teenage years, I can belt them out and scream them, and I feel better. I feel better and more able to continue with a crazy day. I also, as far as prioritizing time, have learned to say no. That one was really hard for me. I want to please people. The people that I love and the people that I like, I want to make them happy. And I want to be there and be present and do whatever it is that they perceive that they need from me. But I have learned that if I'm going to actually be able to wholly be present and do the things I want to do, sometimes I have to say no. And I have to understand my own limitations, not only with time, but with patience, with money, with physical ability. If my back has been spasming, I cannot say, sure, I'm going to come over and help you build a shed or rearrange your living room, because I'm not going to be able to physically do anything. So that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned in the last year, is how to say no. I don't know. We are not really taught that. I mean, I was never taught that. I think of myself as a nurturer. Does a nurturer say no? If somebody comes up and is crying and they need a hug, you would never say no. And I guess I kind of always saw anything anyone asked of me as something that I just couldn't refuse if it was remotely in my realm to do. But I now understand that even if I have time to do it, I may not have the mental capacity to do it or the physical capacity to do it. And I've learned to say no. That is probably the most valuable tool I can impart upon anyone else, is recognizing when you're tapped. If I'm tired, if I am, and I don't mean just sleepy, I'm talking about that tired that if one more thing happens, you might lose it, right? Don't let everything pile up, because I've found that as I say no, that particular point is farther and farther away from me. I don't have the issue I used to have. I don't burn out the way I used to burn out, because I've learned that if I really don't feel I can do it, I need to say no. On a different note, as most of you might know, I said that with the stress in my life, I do lose my hair. I get breakouts in like hives and things, and it is what it is, right? So another valuable thing that I found is acceptance. Accepting that my husband, wherever he is that day, it's okay that he's there, and love him where he is, and understand that I can't fix him. Accepting that I can't fix him. I can't make his pain go away. I can't make him not feel the things that he feels. I can't do that. It's not within my realm, and it never was supposed to be. And that's okay. I accept that I have allergies to a lot of things. I accept that there's going to be an element of stress in my life. And I also accept that I do have more control than often I feel I have. Acceptance. I accept my patchy hair loss, and I embrace the wigs. I mean, who cares, really? I have gone to church, and I have had people say, Allison, your hair looks amazing today. And I'm like, thanks. It's a wig. I don't care. Maybe you two want to go buy it for $49.99. I don't know. But I don't care who knows that. I don't see that any different than somebody who goes and gets fake nails every week or 2 weeks or whatever it is. I don't see that any different than, changing your clothing. I mean, we have bras that lift us and move us, and we don't think anything of that. We don't think anything of fake nails and nail polish. We don't think anything of makeup. And I just don't think anything of fake hair. The hair gives me confidence. I don't feel like people are staring at me. And even if you know it's a wig and you're staring at me because I've told you it's a wig, that's okay. I'm not self-conscious because you don't know what's underneath. The thing that bothers me that's underneath, which is stupid. and I'm struggling. I accept that I lose it. I accept that I wear fake hair, but I still have trouble accepting how I look with my hair like that, because I'll look in the mirror and it just, to me, doesn't look like me. But I'm working on that. And that's another part of acceptance. We're all a work in progress. As long as we're living and breathing, we have the ability to adapt. And anything that we decide, we can do. That's empowering. That is amazing. When you sit there and you think about, I'm handed all this stuff and it feels really heavy and I think I might want to cry. Well, guess what? Cry. And then if it's still too heavy for you, ask for help or say no or think differently or just accept that sometimes you're going to have a heavy burden and that's okay. It is okay. It won't kill you. You might think it'll kill you, but it won't kill you. I just feel like we as women especially we're not nice to ourselves. We're not kind to ourselves, and sometimes not kind to each other, but we're definitely not kind to ourselves. That inner voice that tells me that I need to cover my bald spots is a mean voice. That inner voice that tells me that I have wrinkles on my neck and I'm too young for that, that's a mean voice. Because you know what? I think I have qualities that are just mine. I think that I am unique. I think that's okay. I think that I'm different. I think that's okay. I think that with time and acceptance, that we embrace who we have become. And these wrinkles on my face and on my neck and my hair loss, those are badges of honor, just like stretch marks when you have a baby. These are the marks of my life that have marked me and set me forward, and hopefully help me be in a position to encourage other people to keep going. If you ever have questions about what I'm talking about, please feel free to shoot me a comment. My email is Allison_ONE@hotmail.com, and I welcome emails. If you ever want to know, like the hair, like today, the hair that I'm wearing, this is, by the way, we live on disability, and I do have a job, but I don't make millions, and my makeup and skincare tends to come from a company that I have invested in called Pharmacy, that I just love. If you want to know what I'm wearing today, I'm wearing a VFX. It looks like this. Pro primer or foundation, and I put the primer on first, and I use their powder. I use brow powder. I have a small highlighter just to make my eyes look bigger because I have very small eyes and they're hidden behind glasses. I do wear a 3D mascara, but every time that I've ever tried to wear eyeliner or eyeshadow, I have very sensitive eyes, and they'll water and water and water, and they'll wash it all off. So I've kind of accepted that that's not in the scope of what I'm going to be doing for myself, and that's fine. So I wear mascara, a little bit of highlighter, eyebrow powder. I do have some blush on, and I have my foundation on, but I also use skincare. Pharmacy has a line called Reversist, and I use that at night, and then in the daytime I use rose water and rose oil and rose lotion for my skin, because I have, especially in the wintertime, I live in Ohio, and though it hasn't been ridiculously cold, my house has been very dry, and it makes my skin dry, so I've been using that to hydrate my skin. My hair, I went to a company called thewigcompany.com, and I purchased a bunch of, like 3 different closeout clearance wigs, and I guessed at the color. You know, my natural color is like a, if you saw it, it would look more gold, all of it together, but strand by strand, it's very much, you know, matches what I have on. And this is a Fashion Club design. It's called Timeless, and the color is 1822. And it comes to just past shoulder length. It's very wavy, not curly. It's waves like this. And I just kind of play with it until I put it where I want it, and I'll turn around and show you. I put it in a clip and wear it up, and you can kind of see my baby hair in the back at the nape. I hope you can see that. And I bobby pinned, you know, some pieces in place and tucked and everything, and then that's that. I used to spend a lot of money on wigs. At one point in time, the first time my hair fell out in patches, I spent so much money on wigs. I had John Renault, I had Noriko, I had Raquel Welch, and I loved them. But when my hair grew back, we went through a period where it seemed like everything was really okay, and my stress levels changed. And when my hair grew back, I somehow convinced myself that it was never going to fall out again, which was ridiculous and foolhardy of me. And I donated all but 2 wigs to a cancer wing at my local hospital. Well, 4.5 years later, and I go through the patchy loss again. We've had some issues, and it happened again. So I dug out the 2 wigs that I saved. One was a Rene of Paris Cameron in creamy toffee, and one was a Rene of Paris Ivana in rose gold, which I really like. It's more neutral, kind of like this, only has a little bit of red in it. It was really pretty. And I do still have that one, and I wear that one a lot. The Cameron's about dead. But I am on, one of the reasons I'm working is I'm on a spin down. I am trying to budget so carefully every dollar that comes in this house. My goal is for us to only owe on the mortgage in 2 years. And I think I can achieve that. That's my goal. Well, in sticking with that goal, I'm having to give my hair budget, you know, a lowered price. And some other YouTubers, you know, were talking about the wig company, which I had never heard of. And I looked it up and I thought, well, what the heck, I'll try it. Because honest to God, if somebody's looking so closely at my part that they can tell it's a wig, that's your bad, not mine. You're too close to me. So if that bothers you, that's your problem, not mine. I'll tell you it's a wig. I will. My goal is just to make it look fairly natural so that I can wear it and keep my self-confidence. It's not about anything other than that. So I don't care if it has, you know, to reduce shine, I use dry shampoo, and then I just used my own clips and stuff, and I went to church this morning just like this, and you know, the roof didn't fall in. God didn't strike me down. It's not a big deal. And I think you can make anything your own. You can make glasses your own. You can make braces your own. You can make any kind of what we perceive as an imperfection. You can make it your own and make it beautiful if you try. And if you walk out with confidence. I really think the confidence is key. So, a lot of rambling today, but the biggest key points: acceptance. Accept. You know, the serenity prayer really is a thing. You know, there are just some things you cannot change. There are some things you cannot fix. And some things you just have to go, well, I guess this is just my life right now. Or I guess this is just how it is. My mother used to say, it is what it is, what it is. I hated that. I really did. Don't say that to me, Mom. It sucks. Guess what? My mom, she'll be 80 in a week. Wisest woman I ever met. It is what it is. And it is what we make it. When my children were growing up, I used to tell them, your attitude is everything. It's everything. Because the only thing you can control is how you react to the things that life hands you. And that's not speaking with rose-colored glasses. Trust me, they're not rose. It's a fact. We control how we react. We control what we decide and what we say, not only to others, but to ourselves. So acceptance, and then by golly, you learn to say no. You know your limitations, you know your time constraints, you know what has to be done. Keep a calendar, keep things organized. And if you have to say no, even to your kids, I have adult kids, sometimes I have to say, honey, I can't come visit you right now. Now is not a good time. And guess what? They love me and they go, okay, Mom, let me know when you're available. The sky does not fall in because I say no. No is a forgivable thing. And I really think it's empowering. Acceptance and saying no. Till next time, guys. God bless.